Hi everyone, this is audap. Let's check out The Sinking City on PlayStation 5. The last time we looked at this, we played the Switch release. And so this is a brand new release of the game that's actually native for PlayStation 5. I'm going to guess that this is going to be like having something on the high or potentially the ultra settings on the PC. I like this game quite a bit. It's made by Frogwares. You know, they had some problems in the past with their the publisher that they chose. You know, attempting to take over the IP, which is why it wasn't available for last-gen consoles. You know, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One for a while. I think that's all been resolved. You know, if you don't have one of the next-gen systems, which is most of us, you can still pick it up on your last-gen system, your PlayStation 4 or Xbox One. But if you happen to have a PlayStation 5, now we have a way to play it here natively, or experience it for the first time, which to me is good. Since we've already played this before, I'm not even going to worry about making it more challenging. Let's see. I think we'll leave all this with defaults, potentially. Except for the camera sensitivity, that's never high enough. We'll turn up the gamma just a bit for folks watching on their phones. I think the volume is okay. Alright, let's see. Is this going to be the same as on the Switch? I would imagine they all have the same number of buttons. I'll be curious to see if they decide to use the resistive triggers. Okay, frosty welcome. Dear Mr. Charles Reed, as you requested, I've researched the outbursts of hysteria and visions in the city of Oakmont, Massachusetts. It turns out that your assumptions were correct. Such cases are indeed more frequent here. Men and women from across the country are drawn to Oakmont, haunted by visions similar to yours. A city drowning, the presence of something great yet unknown. As luck would have it, I believe we have stumbled upon the source of your ailment, and the person who might help you with it. Prepare yourself, then come to Oakmont as soon as you can. I will meet you here to help you on your way. Cordially, Johannes Vandenberg. Oh. Well, your friends are ugly. I guess that's a good strategy to use, you know? Just hang around a bunch of ugly people and you'll look like super hot. I know that works because in my circle of friends, I'm the ugly one, and I always get invited everywhere. Ooh, fresh calamari. Ooh, that's like really fresh. Oh, that first step's a doozy. You sleep in your leather jacket? That's wacky. Shower. Oh yeah. Oh, that is very, very slow sensitivity. Yeah, let's get up there, my friend. Alright, so we are at 60 frames, at least we are here, which is, you know, what I would expect from a you know, last gen system, you know, ported to a new gen. Okay, we just read that one in the front. So I got a folding camera. It's my case book. That's my Frosty welcome. Frosty. Frosty the Snowman.
Never trust a tourist advertisement.
Ah, it's nice to be able to see that clearly. I mean, like I said, last time we played this was on the Switch, and yeah, obviously that system was, you know, it ran it well enough, I think.
Hope I never have to use it, but something tells me I will.
Yeah, this is made by the same folks who do the Sherlock Holmes games, which my understanding is that they're pretty good. I think I'll play them someday. What's my picture button? This one. Oh, it does use the adaptive triggers. Okay. Because I just pushed lightly and I met a little resistance, so I had to push all the way down hard to take the picture. Yeah, I mean, this is not like a very complex, you know, high resolution, you know, realistic models kind of game. Everything's really stylized. So I'm not expecting like the most cutting edge next gen visuals, but at the very least I'm expecting it to run at consistent 60 frames.
Now get out!
At last, Mr. Charles Reed. What a pleasure to finally meet you in the flesh.
Nice to meet you.
Johannes van der Berg, at your service. I did promise to meet you the moment you arrived.
Ah, much obliged, Mr. Vanderberg. I guess I didn't expect you to mean so literally.
Please call me Johannes. But where are my manners? Welcome to the proud city of Oakmont. Alas, now is not its finest hour, though it is its most important.
Not my problem.
You said you know someone who can help me with my problem. The visions have been getting worse.
Such vividness of dreams is not uncommon here in Oakmont. By chance, the man I spoke of, Robert Throgmorton, is already at the port. He has dedicated a lot of time and effort to investigate this issue. Alas, I fear he has a more pressing matter on his hands.
Where is Robert Throgmorton?
How can I find Mr. Throgmorton?
Don't worry, you can't miss him. Throgmorton tends to stand out from the crowd.
I need somewhere to stay.
I'll need a place to lay my head while I'm here. Any recommendations?
Fear not. I've already feathered a nest for you. There's a room in your name at the Devil's Reef Hotel. Here's the key.
Sounds charming.
Don't judge a book by its cover, Mr. Reed.
How do I get to Devil's Reef?
What's the best way to get around Oakmont? I'd like to drop my things at the hotel.
Most locals go by foot, or by boat. I've got the latter sorted for you. There's one waiting outside the port.
You're too kind, Johannes. Can you steer me towards the Devil's Reef?
Take this map. I've marked the hotel and a few other key places.
What else did you mark on the map?
Other places? Like what?
You're a private eye, yes? Well, I've highlighted the police station, city archive, newspaper, places you'll need to get to the truth. This city is insular, its ways mysterious. No one will take you by the hand, so you better know where to turn in search of a lead.
What do you do here?
How do you fill your days, Mr. Vanderberg?
I host a philosophy club for the like-minded intelligentsia. gathering seeds of thought, like moths drawn to a flame.
Does Oakmont really have much of a market for philosophy these days?
There is no consciousness without pain, Mr. Reed. No better moment for clarity than times of hardship.
Bye.
Well, that's it for now, I think. Thanks for helping me get my bearings.
No, no. The pleasure was mine, Mr. Reed.
Oh, before you go, how can I get in touch with you later?
Don't worry about that. I'm the kind of man who finds you.
Now press touchpad to activate the map, and press right on the D-pad for more information. We got a map. And there's the hotel. Alright. Yeah, again, it's very stylized, so you're not going to see like tons of high-res textures or, you know, real complex polygons everywhere. But you will see a very consistent running game, hopefully. This game isn't on any of a discount, it's just it's a full-price game. Well, you know, there aren't like a ton of games that are running or available on the PlayStation 5 that are native. So it's kind of nice to see another one, and one that is actually still a really good game. Under the keel bar. Exit.
I don't care about your petty excuses. No one leaves the port until my son is found, and that is final.
Excuse me. Are you Robert Throgmorton?
I am, but not interested. Go away.
The name's Charles Reed. I'm a private investigator, just arrived from Boston. I was told you might be able to help me.
Private investigator, you say? Well, perhaps we can help each other.
What happened to your son?
If I may ask, what happened to your son?
Why do you care? What's your angle, outsider?
Well, like I said, I'm a PI. Finding people is kind of my specialty.
Is it? Well, Albert was part of a deep-sea expedition I commissioned. This useless fool over here says he found Albert washed ashore in a lifeboat. Says he was barely conscious, out of his mind, talking gibberish in some other language. That he even tried to bite him.
And you don't believe him?
Complete malarkey. I know my Albert. I raised him strong and smart, the best of his kind. It couldn't have been him. Albert's disappearance is the work of Innsmouthers, mark my words.
Who are the Innsmouthers?
I take it you're not the biggest fan of these Innsmouthers.
Those fish-faced freaks have overrun this city since the police burned Innsmouth to the ground. But now, those filthy migrants occupy half this damn city. The port, Grimhaven Bay, Salvation Harbor, the shells. They are everywhere.
So they're just refugees.
Hardly. They've taken work from the local fishermen. They stir and agitate against us, the Throgmorton family. We are the pillar of this community, not to mention that crime rates have skyrocketed. Simply speaking, they are a big stinking pile of trouble.
What do you know about the visions?
I've heard you're the man to speak to about visions, outbreaks of hysteria. I'm trying to get to the bottom of it myself.
Another newcomer with another problem. Yes, I know what you speak of.
Can I ask you a few questions?
How dare you? My son Albert is missing, and no one in this Innsmouth-ridden city will do a damn thing. But yes, let's talk about your dreams.
Your features are unusual.
Please forgive the question, but I've never met a man quite like you before.
That's because no man measures up to the Throgmorton lineage. Proud and powerful blood flows through our veins. My father united with a certain royal family, which has blessed all our offspring with these exquisite features.
I can try to find Albert.
Mr. Throgmorton, let me help you. I'm rather good at tracking down missing people. I'll find Albert.
What makes you think you can do it? Oakmont is not exactly friendly to new arrivals.
Let's just say I tend to see things that others miss. And anyway, what have you got to lose? Sounds like you could use every man you can get.
Vera. You have a point, newcomer.
Vera?
Sorry, did you just say Vera? What does that mean?
You had better get used to the Oakmont dialect, outsider. That is, if you want to fit in. It is a fascinating blend. Vera means fine. I was saying, we have a deal.
I see. Thank you.
Tell me more about the case.
I need to know more about what happened to Albert.
Dane, did you not listen at all? I already told you everything. After leaving on the expedition, Albert was found on the shore in a lifeboat. This fisherman supposedly brought him to the house, and then left to call me. But when I arrived here, my son was nowhere to be seen.
Anything else?
Clearly, something suspicious occurred inside the house. I suggest you stop dawdling and go see for yourself.
Where's the fisherman's house?
Where's the house where this all happened?
For Kay's sake, I thought you were a private eye. We're standing right in front of it.
Where's the lifeboat?
You mentioned a lifeboat. Is it still around?
Yes. Face the house, then to the left is a beach that borders a fence. You'll find it there.
I'll be going.
As much as I'm enjoying the weather, Mr. Throgmorton, it's time for me to get started.
Find my son, newcomer, and be quick about it.
Evidence. To get evidence, interact with objects and people, combine clues in your mind palace, and take photos. A white frame in the camera viewfinder indicates if you are aiming correctly. Read evidence closely to identify important locations, then pin it on the map to plan your route. Let's see. Pin evidence on the HUD to keep track of your current goal. Press up on the D-pad to toggle on and off, and hold to switch the pinned evidence with the right stick. You can also place evidence on the map and HUD from the casebook screen. Select evidence and use square to pin evidence and triangle to place it on the map. Alright, and a flashlight. Oh, wow, okay. That looks significantly better than it did on the Switch. I mean, everything's nice and clean, you know, clean being relative since the game is supposed to look, you know, pretty dirty. This place is fishy.
It would take tremendous effort to move this thing, let alone tossing it over like this.
Let's see what you find, newcomer.
Choo choo. Ahem. Hello? Hey, can you hear me?
Oh my head. What? Who are you? Are you police? I've already told them everything.
It's okay. I'm Charles Reed, Private Eye. Mr. Throgmorton hired me to find his son.
Oh, okay. What do you want?
Tell me what happened.
I want to know what happened here. Every detail.
I don't remember much. Me, Paul, and Lewis. We were here. This is our house. Barry was outside on his business. Then he came back carrying Throgmorton's son. He was unconscious, barely breathing. Barry left again to call Mr. Robert.
Then what?
We put the guy in Lewis's room. And he started to make these horrible sounds and... Okay. My head began to burst. And he woke up. And after that, I don't remember a thing. Just dreams. Drowned streets, a sleeping giant, a voice that called me.
That sounds familiar.
Who are you?
Tell me about yourself.
Name's Will Hammond. I'm a fisherman. We all are. Live here together. Me, poor fella Paul, Barry, and Innsmouther Lewis Flynn. We moved here after the flood. I worked on the railroad, but the rail ain't kicking anymore, so I started fishing. It was that or starve.
Where are the others?
Where are all the other guys?
That's Paul there on the floor. Kay be with him. Barry's outside with Mr. Throgmorton. Lucky rascal missed everything. And I have no idea what Lewis or Throgmorton's son got to. Starting to suspect the worst.
What happened to Paul?
Do you know how Paul died?
I don't know. When I pulled myself together, he was already gone. Kay have mercy on his soul.
Who's Kay?
Who is this K you keep mentioning?
Outsiders, show some respect. Kay is our lord, our light, our love.
Sorry, I didn't know.
Gotta go.
I'll leave you to it. Take care of yourself, Will.
Please, detective, sir, tell me the truth. Could it be me? Did I kill Paul? Or Kay? Did I kill him?
I don't know yet, Will. The police will stop anyone coming in or out of here, so I suggest you just try and get some rest.
I'm afraid of what I might dream.
I can barely recognize the face of the poor fella. He was beaten to a pulp. I can barely recognize the face of the poor fella. He was beaten to a pulp.
Oh, that's right. I have a spade that I carry everywhere. What was it? Up? No. Right? No. Left? Down. Down. Here's my detective vision.
5 cards short of a full house. I'm surprised they don't have someone's portrait here.
Mind's eye.
Never seen knives like this before. Masterful work. So, that's what an Innsmouther looks like.
Yeah, it's very fishy.
Seems like Prohibition hasn't affected Oakmont too much.
Retrocognition allows you to understand events that happened in the past, inspect enough evidence on the scene, and a vision will emerge. Step into it and find all the critical scenes. X marks the scene in chronological order to gain new evidence.
Yeah, run! Take this, ape face.
What's happening?
Okay, let's see what we have here.
Alright, first. That's second. And this
What?
third.
Take this, ape-face. Yeah, run!
When Albert Throgmorton woke up, he was not himself. He attacked the fishermen, and his hysteria spread to them. When he got wounded, he fled.
Okay, investigation of the main case reveals clues for your Mind Palace. Press the option button to open the casebook, and then switch to Mind Palace. Combine pairs of relevant clues to get evidence. Crucial information for the case, it's added to the casebook. Deductions, these explain nuances of the case. They are displayed in the Mind Palace. Some deductions can be interpreted differently. This can lead to different conclusions. Discover all possible conclusions to fully understand the case, but it is up to you how you solve it. Yep, so we'll go to our Mind Palace. We say Albert attacked the fisherman. Lewis shot without warning. Throgmorton in his mouth of feud. Sudden psychotic outbreak. Albert fled when wounded. Albert returned unstable. One fisherman is missing. Albert returned unstable. Let's see. Albert Throgmorton was dangerous, although Albert Throgmorton was dangerous and posed a threat to Lewis Flynn and his fellow fishermen. Right, so that's one possible, right? Say Lewis shot without warning. Albert fled when wounded. Or hold on, so we can say Albert returned unstable and had a sudden psychotic outbreak. Although Albert Throgmorton spread some sort of psychotic influence. Albert Throgmorton spread some sort of psychotic influence which made everyone nearby suffer hysteria. Albert fled when wounded. Lewis shot without warning. No. One fisherman is missing. Let's see. Albert and the fisherman named Lewis fled the scene after the fight in the house. I can track them by using my supernatural sense. Okay, so none of those pieces of evidence match anything.
My head. I still hear those voices.
Alright, I think that's all I need from here. So the game's kind of cool because it takes the sort of idea of the Sherlock Holmes games. You find pieces of evidence, then you string together the clues based on your interviews with people. And
I'm surprised they don't have someone's portrait here.
When you get different pieces of evidence and connect them together, you can essentially change the plot.
I can barely recognize the face of the poor fella. He was beaten to a pulp. There was a fierce fight here, but someone tried to flee.
Use our vision. Follow him wherever he went.
So the fisherman pursued Albert, even let off a few shots. Even though Albert was wounded, he managed to climb that high. Robert wasn't exaggerating when he said he raised him strong.
Please, please, please.
There's something in the pocket.
Bloodstained note. Lewis, please, just give me one more week. I know I owe you, but I'm underwater like everyone else right now. I don't yet have enough stock to operate the bar smoothly with the fuzz snooping about the port. But don't worry, I struck a nice deal with the proper people and should have a steady supply channel soon. Just one more week and I'll return everything with double interest. Peter. Okay.
And the blood is fresh. Whomever it belongs to could not have got far.
There's blood everywhere. It might be flesh blood though. Doesn't have to be person blood. Although it's highly likely. Yeah, this is kind of the good and bad thing about the game is that you know, you can do, there's a crafting system, so you'll have to collect resources, and you know, you'll spend a lot of time just running around trying to collect stuff. I don't think I've ever played a game so far where crafting and resource gathering have ever been balanced. There's always a point where you don't have enough, and then you have to do, you know, some, you know, stupid little games in order to get enough. Okay, can't do that. Or you have to find some sort of exploit, and, you know, that's not really fun at that point in time, at least not for me. This does have the same sort of problem. There are points in the game where you'll need something, and, you know, you just won't have the resources. But they do try to generate as much as they can. So, you know, while it does happen, I wouldn't say it's completely, you know, it doesn't ever really completely stop you from anything. But does make things, you know, rather difficult, and that portion of the game can be kind of tedious. Padlocks. Padlocks and weak planks can be broken with a shot or a melee attack.
Door won't budge.
Oh god, you guys. Screw you. Hate you bastards.
One fatal round through the forehead. That's no accident. This was deliberate.
Okay, let's hit the Mine Palace. Okay, so Lewis left the crime scene and then pursued Albert. No. 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 Let's see, Lewis may be at the bar. Lewis, the Innsmouther that killed Albert Throgmorton, may be hiding at the bar in Oakmont Port. Okay. Lewis pursued Albert. Albert was murdered. Or... hold on. Lewis shot without warning. Lewis pursued Albert. No. Or fled. No. No. Okay. Anti-Throgmorton sentiment. As an Innsmouther, Lewis and his people suffered at the hands of the Throgmortons. That could be a reason to hate them. Fled when wounded. Lewis may have wanted Albert dead. Lewis may have wanted to kill Albert outright because he was a Throgmorton, rather than just drive him off. Okay, so we concluded that Lewis might be at the bar. This is all the evidence we've collected so far. be here? No. Let's see, should I take a picture of... No? Okay. Not picture time, apparently. Yeah, it is interesting that the city is populated, but you don't need to talk to a lot of them. So they're really just there to, I don't know, add atmosphere, I guess? Right, let's also hit the port too, before we talk to Throgmorton. Weird ass creatures.
Where's your Oberon, huh, Titania?
You like it here, newcomer? Well, get used to it. No one leaves Oakmont nowadays.
Something with this helmet gives me chills. What's wrong with it?
Albert Throgmorton's will. I hope someone finds this. My name is Albert Throgmorton, and this is my will. I want to warn you, don't go to the depths below Oakmont. There's unreadable. We should have never done that. Everything should have remained in that cave. Professor, unreadable. I fear what will become of me. It's singing in my brain, dancing on my eyelids every time I close my eyes, unreadable. The cycle goes on, and on, and on, and on, and on, unreadable. And in the end, it comes. I must warn everyone. I must tell my father, unreadable, he's here. Yeah, I do like the atmosphere. It is, you know, sufficiently dreary. Find your son's will.
Mr. Throgmorton, I found this in the lifeboat. Looks like it's your son's will.
Give it to me. Oh, my boy, what did you get yourself into? If only I hadn't sent you on that cursed expedition.
I've seen some strange creatures around.
Mr. Throgmorton, I've encountered something.
What? I don't have all day.
Some unusual creatures. And they sure weren't friendly.
You've seen a wild beast, Mr. Reed. I'm somewhat surprised to see you still alive. Those unsettling things appeared after the flood. I've commissioned a few studies on them, but we know little more than when we started. They're aggressive, but fortunately, not immune to gunfire.
Yeah, I learned that firsthand.
Try to avoid them when possible. And when you can't, keep your weapons handy.
Your son was murdered.
Mr. Throgmorton, I'm afraid I have bad news.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I found your son in the basement of a nearby warehouse. I'm sorry, but he was murdered. Shot in the head and the body hidden.
No. It cannot be true. don't believe it. No.
Sorry for your loss.
My condolences, Mr. Throckmorton. I had hoped for a happier outcome.
Your condolences will not bring him back. So much of our blood spilt for nothing. So much effort in vain. My poor Albert. Tell me you know who did it. I want to look him in the eyes, make him beg for mercy.
Fisherman named Lewis.
Seems like he was a fisherman by the name of Lewis. He had a gun and pursued Albert after he fled the house.
Lewis it is, then. What do you know of him?
Turns out you were right. He's an Innsmouther.
Those filthy scum have done it now. When I'm through with them, they will rue the day they dared lay a finger on a Throgmorton. Bring me that dirtbag, Lewis. He and I are due a reckoning. Do this for me, and I'll help you with anything you need.
Alright, so... and find... hospital... Where's this? The Chronicle, the library, the city hall. Let me find the pub. Him behind a bar in Oakmont Port. Okay, so we just basically need to head to the port. Let's go here. Yeah, the game's interesting because the city doesn't have like house numbers. It just has street names. So if you're looking for a house, then you know somebody will say it's on some street and third from the left or something like that.
The port is closed by order of Robert Throgmorton. Back off.
Maybe I need to go to the hotel first then. Oh, well, here's the bar.
Stay alert. Monsters lurk underground. They're everywhere.
Come closer, troubled soul. Let me tell you what your future holds.
You're some kind of fortune teller?
Yes, my dear, yes. Oh, it's so clear. Your path holds many surprises, newcomer.
Do tell.
Really? Like what?
Not so fast, newcomer. I see many things. For a small fee, I'll tell you some of them.
All right, how much? $1?
Your money has no value here, newcomer. After the flood, Oakmonters deal in the practical. Booze, smokes, and bullets. And I'll make it easier for you. I don't smoke.
Nah.
Some other time. Maybe.
As you wish.
Bullets are a fair rarity in the game. You don't get a lot of them, and you'll have to craft most of them if you want to make use of your guns. And of course the materials for crafting bullets is something that you don't run into all the time. So you have to be real sparing about when you decide to give up one of your bullets. Which basically means almost never. I mean, don't give them up. Let's see, I don't... Maybe this doesn't have a... has a manual save system, does it? Yeah, I wish games wouldn't do this so often. Have an autosave only system. I've never really liked it. Because it's nice not having to worry about when to save, but sometimes you just want to be able to save manually. And then just keep like a running log of game saves. Because if your autosave ever goes, goes kaput, then that's all your progress. But why don't we stop it there? This is audap. You've been watching The Sinking City on PlayStation 5. For me, this is an enhanced port, quite a bit enhanced since the original playthrough we had was through the Nintendo Switch. The Nintendo Switch was a perfectly competent port, just running at lower resolution, but it had all the content and the game played pretty well. It was just, a lot sparse as far as the density and the number of people walking in the city. Normal, good, smart cutbacks on that system. Here in this case, we're getting, much higher resolution textures. We're getting more effects on the screen. We've got a locked 60 frames. The load times are faster. It utilizes the adaptive triggers. So while it may not be the most cutting edge of PlayStation games or PlayStation 5 games, I think it is a pretty good one. The overall game is well done. All the voice acting is top notch, and the mood and the music and everything I think are good. Again, it's not like the top tier A title. It is more of a B class title, but B class titles are just as fun, and I think people should give this game a chance if you're into one, the mystery and how to solve it, and then two, if you like things with a Cthulhu setup. But yeah, check it out. I think you'll like it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching. I will see you at the next stream.